for me, it's a lot easier to work 100 hours a week and just get lost in what I'm doing and forget, you know, why I even got into it in the first place. I was having a bit of a philosophical discussion today, and we were wrapping up our final interview for the Getting the Shot series for episode 2. But one of the conversations we were having, and one of the, you know, philosophical things that I've been thinking about a lot lately is how to balance work and play. And as like an outdoor photographer and as an entrepreneur, I think we kind of play by a little bit of a different set of rules, because you kind of have, you know, you have that kind of classic rhetoric about if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. And in my experience, that's total bullshit. And it's just the reality of it, because I love what I do, but I work really hard. And I know that you could probably relate if you're trying to become a pro, if you are a pro, if you're trying to push the boundaries of, you know, whatever photography or genre or activity that you're engaged in. And so I'm sure you agree. In fact, if you do agree, like the video down below, give me a thumbs up and let me know if I'm way off or if I'm hitting it on the nail on the head here. I'll start with a story. So a couple of days ago, I was out not in the Rockies where I am today, and I'll get to that. But I was out in a place called Drumheller, and so that's about hour northeast from Calgary, and it's a beautiful place, Badlands, just a beautiful geographical area, really interesting terrain and landscapes, and really different to the Rockies and the mountains here that I find myself in so frequently. And we went out. I was with my good friend Zach, who you've met probably if you've seen a couple of these videos by now, my partner Haley, who you've likewise also probably seen in these videos. And the idea was to just get out. It's been a long winter. Let's try to enjoy some of the weather, the nice weather that we were having, and head out to the sun where there was more sun. It was warmer in the prairies and near Drumheller than it was anywhere else. So we thought, you know what, let's shake the rust off our legs. It's been a while. Let's do some trail running. Let's have some fun. And there was nothing more, there's no more thought put into it than that. And, you know, being a photographer, of course, I brought my stuff. And I brought my camera bag, tripods, the whole setup. But we got there just outside one of the canyons in the morning, just outside Drumheller. Went for a run, spent a couple hours literally just running around, just getting lost in the canyons, and just really enjoying the experience. And then, you know, we went into town, we did a couple other things, just had a fun day. It was just a really good, fun day to disconnect and spend time with each other and be outside in nature and just enjoy an experience without picking up the camera. So later in the day, we went to a different canyon and we went for another run, and we were racking up the kilometers a lot. And there were quite a few compositions that started popping into my head. I was starting to see stuff where I was like, you know what, that would be really rad. I'd love to come back and capture this. And so what I'll do in that situation is I usually have my phone on me, at least if nothing else, and I can grab a couple of compositions and I can start taking some photos so I remember, hey, I want to go back here, I had an idea for this. let's you know, in the future, whether it be sunset, after dark, similar conditions, what have you, at least I have that as kind of a reference point. And so we're running around, and I said to the guys, and I was talking to Haley and Zach, and I said, you know, like once we finish running around, if we have food with us back at the vehicles, like how keen would you guys be? I know it's been a long day. You know, the plan was to head back pretty early and go home. Not early, but before, you know, at this point it had been almost 12 hours we'd been out. It's like, what do you think about waiting around for a couple hours, letting the sun set, and, you know, let me work a little bit? So the way I'd seen it is, you know, so long as they are keen and happy to do it, because if they were too hungry, too tired, just want to go home and relax, you know, the majority rules, and I think it would have been, they have to be equally as down. So they happen to be, which was great. We're there, why not? So I had a couple compositions I showed them. I kind of communicated some of my ideas, and I created some stuff that I was actually really excited about. Some of my favorite photos so far this year, and I know it's only, you know, we're still early into the year, but yeah, just really cool stuff, and they gave me the opportunity to just create those photos, and I couldn't be more grateful. But you know, that was a day that was designed from the beginning to be experience and fun and disconnecting and just enjoying each other in the outdoors. Did I taint it in any way by, you know, quote unquote working for 2 hours at the end of the day? In that circumstance, I don't think so at all. And I think that's what's important to note, is that there's a lot of gray when your work is your passion, because it's equally as important to balance that work life balance, because like otherwise it can overwhelm you, and it can just be a bit of a dark black hole, where it just seems like this is all you do. And it's easy, and you have to be very intentional about it, because for me, it's a lot easier to work 100 hours a week and just get lost in what I'm doing and forget, you know, why I even got into it in the first place. It's really important to have that balance. But I think for me, that was almost a perfect like analogy, or a perfect scenario to show what that balance can look like. And I want to use another example, which brings me to today, which I'm out here, I'm hiking Sulphur Mountain in Banff National Park, and it's been a while since I've been up and down this hill, and this was a work day. So I had one objective, and it was to finish getting all the sound bites and the audio that I needed for my series, Getting the Shot, episode 2 with Paul Ziska. So the morning started off with work, and you know, obviously it goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyways. You know, it's days like today, it's not always like this, but obviously this is when you're really happy that this is your job. It's any day I can be out shooting, which is probably more rare than you might think as a professional outdoor photographer. Any day I can be outside shooting is a really good day. Nonetheless, work though. I had an objective, I had a goal, I had a professional objective, professional goal to accomplish something today. And it was about a half-day shoot. Left Calgary just before 6. Did a time-lapse at Vermilion Lake, which you would know if you've ever visited Banff. Beautiful lake just outside of town. And I met Paul there, and we shot our interview for the next, we shot some B-roll for about an hour or half an hour, and the next 2 or 2.5 hours, or just less than that, we shot our interview together, which you'll hear in our second episode of Getting the Shot. So as soon as we concluded that, I'm with my partner Haley, we're shooting in tandem today. And you know, we looked at each other and we kind of said, hey man, like, it's a beautiful day. Like, what are the odds that we can just hang out around Banff and maybe get a hike in and maybe just enjoy being in the mountains? The sun's out, it's a beautiful spring day. Let's go for a hike. What do we need to do to get that done? So we just communicated to each other, and I said, you know, I've got 2 or 3 emails that I need to fire off. Haley had to make a couple of posts for a couple of accounts that she's looking after, and said, okay, like, how long is that going to take? About an hour. All right, let's head to a cafe. Went to one of our favorite cafes, got a little specialty drink, and sat down for an hour, plugged away, went to work, got everything done, setting ourselves up for the weekend coming up, and said, all right, you know, it's 1 o'clock now or whatever it was. Let's go for a hike. Let's enjoy the day. Let's mix a little fun in with that, you know, with work, which is ultimately what today was originally about. So I think the moral of that, and here I am rambling, but I hope that you can kind of extrapolate a little bit of value from what I'm saying. If this is something that resonates with you, and this might be a problem you're having, trying to find that balance of experience and, you know, playability and fun, but also still getting work done, and, you know, hustling and trying to outwork, you know, everyone else. I think at the end of the day, when you can strike that balance, and on, you know, on some work days you can play, and on some play days you can get some work, I think you have to be very intentional about both. But I think that's the biggest takeaway, is the intentionality of it, because if you don't have hard rules, and if you don't have safeguards, and if you don't have ways of mitigating burning yourself out, or mitigating not getting enough work done, you know, conversely, or what have you, then, you know, you're going to be kind of in a world of hurt one way or another. A little bit of a ramble, and I appreciate you guys sticking around to the end of the video here. If you did stick around, give me a comment down below and let me know. I want to see you guys, and, you know, thank you guys for letting me talk like this. I want to do more videos where I'm just kind of, you know, decompressing and kind of offloading some thoughts and ideas and things that I have struggled with in the past that I think might help you guys out on your journey, on your photography journey, whether that's, you know, if you're a weekend warrior trying to go full-time, whatever your case is. You know, if I can shine a little light and give you a little bit of insight and inside perspective. So if you're into that at all, then please make sure that you're subscribing, and we'll see you on the next one.